Why has St. Mark's Cathedral become the target of thieves? Jesus had 12 disciples, and Peter was one of them. Peter had a good friend named Mark. Wherever Peter went to spread the gospel, Mark would follow. Over time, Mark, influenced by Peter's teachings, became a saint himself. Why did Mark follow Peter to preach? Well, Mark was born in Jerusalem and was an Israelite. Besides speaking the local language, Arabic, he was also proficient in Greek. Peter, on the other hand, was Syrian and could only speak fluent Arabic. To spread the gospel to more distant places, Peter needed Mark as a translator. Later, under Peter's guidance, Mark wrote the Gospel of Mark. Catholics know this book as part of the famous New Testament, a supreme classic. Thus, Mark became a prophet in the Western world. Eventually, he no longer needed Peter's assistance and could travel to Europe to preach on his own, receiving a warm welcome from the people. Once, while sailing to Italy, a huge storm struck their ship near the coast of the island of Rialto. The storm seemed as though it would smash the ship to pieces. Mark immediately knelt down and prayed for safety. In the midst of the raging storm, a calmness enveloped him, and then he heard the voice of an angel saying, "Peace be with you, Mark. You will dwell with Venice." Soon after, Mark lost consciousness. When he woke up, he found the ship stranded on a desolate beach, which is now Venice. Thus, Mark became the patron saint of Venice, symbolized by a lion. To this day, Venice's coat of arms remains a lion with one paw resting on the Gospel of Mark, with an inscription that reads, "Rest in peace, Mark, my evangelist." After Mark's death, his body was placed in a church in Alexandria, Egypt. Many Venetians were displeased because they believed that since Mark was the spirit of Venice, it was unreasonable for him to rest in another country. This dissatisfaction led to more and more Venetians becoming restless, eventually culminating in acts of theft. In 828 AD, two Venetian merchants, under the guise of trading in Egypt, sneaked into the church one stormy night, stole Mark's body, and quickly sailed back to Venice. When the ship arrived, the Venetians, upon receiving the news, gathered at the port to welcome Mark's remains. They recited the gospel with tears in their eyes and escorted Mark's body into the city of Venice. To properly honor the saint, the Venetians built the largest church in Europe at the time, St. Mark's Cathedral. It became the pride of Venice's architectural achievement. Interestingly, when the Egyptians discovered that Mark's body was missing, they were furious and demanded its return. They even threatened to punish the thieves. However, the Venetians refused to return it. They stationed guards at the cathedral day and night, and even allowed the two merchants who stole the body to take refuge there, preventing the Egyptians from finding any opportunity. Over time, the Egyptians gave up, and it became customary for Mark to belong to the Venetians. The Venetians also created 5 mosaic panels inside St. Mark's Cathedral, depicting various scenes related to Mark's arrival and presence in Venice, completely omitting any mention of the Egyptians. It seemed as though Mark had always belonged to Venice, in life and in death.